Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome everybody to another video with Live Narc Free. Hi everybody, my name is Joy. I am a narcissist abuse coach. I myself have been dealing with narcissists since 2010, and since 2016, I have been helping people heal, move on, and recover and let go of the narcissist. So, I have a really good topic today, and you guys, please feel free to chime in. I would love to hear you guys' feedback. But I kind of wanted to just get right into it. So the question I got was, after the storm, what life can look like on the path to healing and recovery after getting out of the abuse? That's a really good question. So life can become and feel more freer. Um, Life will be something that you have to get used to and adjusted to after dealing with the abuse, because I know a lot of us victims and survivors, we're so used to the abuse, we're so used to the mistreatment, that we would have to get used to being treated right. But really, life can be very peaceful. It can be very fulfilling and at ease with yourself and with other people, you know. And again, you may have those mistakes that you may run into, or those roadblocks, right? Meaning where you may feel like you need to contact the narc, or you may feel like you missed them, or you feel like you want to check in on them, or they may check in on with you. They may try to hoover you. They may try to gaslight you, or smear campaign, right? Or they may try to blackmail you or attack you emotionally, or psychologically, stalk you, watching you, Now, this is after you come out of the abuse, because the narcissist is actually trying to get you back, right? Not because they love you, not because they realize that they made a mistake, because you were their victim and they want to keep you that way, right? They want to keep you stuck in that abuse, They don't want you to be free, But once us victims and survivors, we can decide, we know our worth, we know our value, we're dedicated and we're committed to healing, we're committed to recovering, life can really just be, you can feel a sense of euphoria, or it's like, it's no drama, it's no stress, it's no anxiety, once you're recovering. But I mean, I would say in the healing stage, you may go through that, because after you get out of the abuse, it's not going to be all, smiles and lollipops. It's not. I'm just being honest. Like, you're gonna have those days where you want to go back. Like, you're gonna have those days where you're gonna think like, man, did I make a mistake? Man, was the narcissist right about me? Is the narcissist that bad? Like, you may think like that in the recovery process. But once you can kind of get a grip over your mind and really learn how to control your mind and control your thoughts, then you can really understand that, this is probably going to be the best decision, you going no contact, you healing and you recovering after dealing with the abuse, But yeah, life is, it can be a lot better. You will definitely feel a lot happier after getting out of the abuse and staying away, staying no contact, and just feel like you're in control of your life, not feeling codependent on the narcissist, not feeling like you need to have them in your life, being able to make those decisions for yourself without needing the narcissist's approval, without needing their validation. You guys know what I mean? And let me know, feel free to chime in, you guys. Let me know what you think about this topic, and make sure y'all give this video a like. Now, myself, my story, when it came to the healing and recovery process, was definitely not easy. As I always say, it took me about 2 years to really get to a point where I would say I recovered. And I'm not going to lie, you guys, there are many times that I may have triggers, but it's not something that I'm saying like, oh, I'm going back to the narcissist, or, oh, I'm checking in on them and seeing, like how they're doing, or it's not saying that I have a glimmer of hope, because I understand a lot of us victims, we do find ourselves having hope for the narcissist. I think that's why a lot of us, we stay with them for so long, or we may dream of them maybe getting better, or them changing, or them leaving the new supply and stuff like that, but it's like, that's the narcissist is just being themselves. They're not going to change. You know what I mean? And so it's probably best for us to go no contact. It's best for us to stay away, and don't worry about what they're doing with the new supply. Don't worry about if they're going to get karma or not. You know what I mean? And whatever else the narcissist is doing has nothing to do with us. You know what I mean? If they're choosing someone else, that obviously means they want another person. But you guys know narcissists never truly let their victims go. They're always watching them some way, somehow. They're finding out a way to get in contact with you. So always know that, right? But yes, you guys, what life can look like on the pathway to healing. And I would say healing really is us just really kind of just letting go, right? Letting go. Thank y'all for the like. I appreciate it. Letting go and really just accepting the truth, accepting what it is that you're dealing with, and all of those emotions that are coming up. You may have to face that. You may have to face yourself. You may have to be honest with yourself and be truthful about maybe what you particularly was enabling. Maybe we don't realize, but we could be enabling narcissistic people or enabling toxic people. You know what I mean? So we have to kind of face ourselves and realize that there's work that we need to do. You know what I mean? And you guys, please feel free if y'all want to ask me any other questions. But I did think that this is a wonderful question, just because like some of us, we might want to know like what we're getting ourselves into, especially when it comes to healing and recovery. You know what I mean? Because it's a process. It's a process. It's not overnight, and it's going to take time. It's definitely going to take time. You got to be very compassionate with yourself. You have to love on yourself. Don't beat yourself up. That a lot of that might be going on. You might be feeling really angry with yourself, and you could feel like, especially during the healing process, you may be crying a lot, going through a lot of grief and a lot of in denial, a lot of emotions could be coming up, but really all of that's going to pass. But that's a part of the healing process. And you may have some times where you feel like you don't want to get out of bed. You feel like you can't even like continue on with your routine. That's exactly what happened with me. But thank God I did have support. But it's a lot. It's almost like you're going through a storm. You know what I mean? You're facing the storm. And that's the pathway to healing. That's the pathway to becoming a better version of yourself, right? Because if you don't do it now, then it's like, you may never do it. You may just decide, let's say if you're dealing with a narcissist, or let's say you left a narcissist, you may decide like, I don't really know if I want to go through that healing process or that recovery process. So you just go to the next relationship, but it's like, it's still going to be there wherever you go, So it's like, if you don't do it now, then you may wait until you get like at an older age. And then by that time, it's just like, it's going to be too late. So you definitely want to make sure, if you have dealt with a narcissist, if you're like in contact with a narcissist now, or maybe if you know somebody dealing with the narcissist, I mean, maybe if they ask you for advice, you can help them. But if you yourself have dealt with that, you definitely want to get onto that pathway to healing, recovering, because you really can save your life. And, make sure that you will be a better version for the future relationship that you have. Or if you have kids with a narc, they can get a better version of you, And so, and this too, like I said, if the narc is like a friend, a family member, a coworker, or like a boss or something, you have to, depending on how close you are, a lot of times it's more like romantic, family, friends kind of thing. You would have to go through that healing and recovery process, and but for me though, like my recovery process has definitely been something that I'm grateful for. Like I said, it wasn't easy, it was not easy. But I definitely feel like it was worth it. I'm really happy that I did recover, because I feel like if I would have, maybe just stayed stuck, or maybe just didn't recognize that, hey, I contributed to this as well. Like I was a part of the enabling the narcissist, you know what I mean? And so I had to kind of take a look at myself and do that inner work and forgive myself and love myself and spend time with myself, and, forgive the narc. Although, of course, I would never go back, you know what I mean? But it's just like going through that recovery, and just focusing on myself, because at the end of the day, you guys know, like the narcissists get us to take our focus off of our own well-being mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and then they want us to put all of our energy into them versus putting the energy into ourselves. Although a relationship should be equal balance, equal give and take, but the narcissist is so selfish that they want us to put the focus on them, and forget about ourselves. Our needs, our wants don't matter. It's not about us, in the narc's mind, right? But that's not true. You do deserve love. You do matter, and you do have a say in a relationship, and it should be balanced. Relationship shouldn't be one-sided, where maybe one person is doing all the chasing and the other person is running, or one person is doing all the giving and the other person is doing all the taking. That's very unhealthy, right? And the other thing is, though, with healing and recovery, what it could look like is just recognizing some things, again, that we need to work on, whether it's codependencies or dealing with abandonment issues, dealing with fear of being alone, dealing with low self-esteem, or dealing with, knowing what our values are. What are our boundaries? Are we setting boundaries? Are we being assertive enough? Are we knowing who we are as individuals? Like, some of us may be empaths, doing research on that, learning about our personality types, or some of us could be HSPs, learning about that, learning about being introverted, learning about being extroverted, that kind of stuff. So learning about yourself, knowing who you are, because once you know who you are, then you can attract someone that is on that same vibration, and someone that knows who they are, and the other thing I would say too is something that what life could look like, or what you might expect when it comes to the healing and recovery process. You may even find yourself, or you may even find your life purpose, or you may see something or kind of discover a hobby or a passion, something that you really enjoy doing, and then you may kind of start doing that. Myself, that's kind of like what I did. Because to be honest, you guys, I didn't really know who I was. I'm going to tell y'all the truth. And please feel free, chime in, y'all. Let me know what y'all think. And I love to hear feedback. But yeah, I didn't really know who I was, you guys. And I guess I was just kind of going along with my life and not really knowing like what was next, And so I feel like going through the healing and the recovery process really kind of helped me find myself, really. So it's actually funny. It's like, yeah, the narcissist comes into our life and they mistreat us, they betray us and all that stuff. But it's like in that moment, we don't even realize, but we're actually, once we go through that healing and that recovery process, we're actually finding ourselves, right? We're getting to know who we are, and then we're accepting it, right? We're not judging ourselves or ridiculing ourselves or putting ourselves down. We're just seeing like, okay, well, if you are a certain way, as long as it's not harming anybody, right? It's like God made you this way. Like, I'll give you guys an example. Like myself, like some of you guys may not know, but I'm HSP. And I'll be doing more videos on that because I feel like not everybody is an HSP, but you do have some people that are. So HSPs are basically highly sensitive personality. So that's exactly what I am, a highly sensitive person. So, but I didn't realize that that's what I was until after meeting the narcissist. But before, I would go through my life, and let me know if any of you guys ever went through this, but I went through my life, being sensitive, or people would tell me like, oh, don't take it personal. You're being too sensitive, or I guess to add on, I'm a Pisces rising and a Cancerian moon. So that's the water sign energy. So it's a lot of emotions going on, right? So, and some people can like view us as highly emotional, but it's really, we're just sensitive. And it's not saying that being sensitive is a bad thing, but you may have to kind of learn how to manage your sensitivity and do activities and do certain things that are not too overwhelming and that are not too that will drain your energy, right? So I had to realize that, but I didn't find out until after I started the healing and the recovery process. So that's something that you might experience. You may learn about yourself while you're in that healing and the recovery process. And that's actually going to help you to be able to navigate in the world, and how you will probably find your place and say like, oh, okay, well, this is how I am. Well, this, you may just figure out how to manage and how to live in the world and still be okay. Because me personally, I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I sometimes, my energy definitely gets affected sometimes. So that's why I don't watch TV a lot of the times. I don't like to be around big crowds or anything like that, because that affects me in a way where it might drain my energy. But it's not saying that those people are wrong. It's just saying that I have to make sure that I am protecting myself. You guys get what I'm saying? So you may discover that while you are healing and recovering, right? And Adam, Mesh Fitness Gaming, hi, are most abusers narcissists? Not all abusers, but a lot of them could be. But there's many different types of abusers, but not all of them are narcissists. And Adam, you said, is narcissism cause from childhood abuse? It could be, yes. I would say people that felt either abandoned, rejected, not accepted, or not approved by their parents, or they felt like their parents maybe mistreated them, could in fact kind of grow up feeling like, everybody is out to get them, everybody is out to hurt them, because the people that was supposed to protect them in that moment didn't. And so they kind of grow up and they learn how to protect themselves by putting that wall up. And they decide that, they're going to be a narcissist, and no one is ever going to get that close to them ever again, because the people that they thought was supposed to be there for them was not. So, yeah. Hope that was helpful. Madam, you also said loving yourselves is important when leaving a narc relationship. Yes, that is correct. Yes. If you are loving yourself, you will begin to realize that the narcissist is very toxic and the narcissist is unhealthy to your mental health. Like, the longer you're with a narcissist, the more your mental health is going to be affected. And that's going to take some time to recover from. It is. It's not going to happen overnight. But you got to like really value yourself, and you got to know yourself. You got to know what your worth is, and you got to know what you deserve. But until you know that, you may stay with the narcissist, or you could just feel like helpless, or you could feel like, well, I mean, I don't know what else to do. I feel like I got to stay, but it's a mind thing. Like, your mind is telling you that, but that's not really the truth. But like, again, once you know, and like, okay, I deserve better. I want to be in a healthy relationship. I know I can do this. That's when you start to gain that confidence and you start to love on yourself, because you deserve better, so yeah. And Adam, you said, do they keep coming back when they discard? Oh, yes, of course. Yes, they do. They never leave you alone. They will discard you over and over again. But as long as you allow them to come back into your life, they're going to keep coming back no matter what. It doesn't matter like what you do, what you say. You actually have to, you can't just talk. You got to actually show the narcissist that you mean what you say, right? Because most of the time the narcissist is all talk, right? So we as the victims and the survivors, we have to be the ones to, have the final discard or have the final no contact, right? And that includes no looking on our social media, you guys. No looking on their social media, no stalking them, no looking at the news supplies, social media, forgetting about whether they're going to get karma or not. Trust me, they are. And maybe even kind of take a break from watching the narc videos, because I know I was obsessed. I really was, you guys. years ago, because I didn't know what I was dealing with, but I just knew it wasn't normal. You guys know what I mean? So you got to do your research, right? But after you feel like, okay, I got enough research, now the healing and the recovery process has to start, right? Because if that doesn't start, then you're going to keep attracting narcissists over and over and over again. And you're going to wonder why you're alone, and you're going to wonder why you're miserable. It's because you haven't done the healing and the recovery, right? So, Adam, you said the trauma bond is so hard. Yes, it is. It's very hard. Very, very hard. And it's difficult to break, because I feel like, and, sometimes we may bond and we may talk about our traumas and our issues. That's understandable. But with the narcissist, it's a little different. Yeah, they do play the victim, but they're also mistreating you as well. And the trauma, it's hard to break, It's very, very hard to break, but definitely doable. Definitely doable. So, and Kalam, hello. You said your ex-girlfriend asked you if I wanted to go with her and others down to a bar. Is this a sign of hoovering? Yes, it is. She's trying to hoover you. Yes. Yeah, narcissists, understand the narcissist is always going to either discard you, and they're always going to hoover you. Those are things that they do. It doesn't matter, as victims and survivors, know that if you're dealing with a narcissist, they're going to hoover, right? So expect that. Don't be surprised. Don't think like, oh, well, why are they contacting me? They know exactly what they're doing. They want your attention. They want you as a supply. They don't want you to let them go. They don't want you to be focused on your new relationship. If you have a new person in your life, they don't want you to, they're trying to sabotage that new relationship. And narcissistic parents do that too to their sons and daughters, or nieces and nephews. They try to sabotage their children's relationships, because they don't want their children to have relationships outside of the narc parent, right? My aunt actually did that to me. She tried to sabotage my relationships, and it didn't work, thank goodness, but that was her aim. So just be careful about that, you guys. But great questions, you guys. Keep them coming. That was awesome. But yeah, you guys, I hope that this video is helpful to you guys. And if you guys know anybody that is dealing with this, or that is struggling to leave a narcissist, or that may need this information, please share this video with them. It could help them in any way. And just Misha, hello. I'm dealing with the worst kind of narc. He is abusive. Oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry. Yeah, abuse is not cool at all. Like, no abuse is cool. Like, yeah, that's just really very unfair, unfortunate. And I hope that you can get away from your narc, just Misha. And Adam, you said most narcs have a parent who is a narc. Yeah. Now, I'm not a narcissist, you guys, but I had an aunt that was a narc. And I'm not going to say that her mom was a narc, God rest her soul, because she's no longer here. So basically it would have been my grandmother. But one of the things that I noticed was that when I was younger, I remember this too, like my grandmother would compare me and my brother, so my dad and me and my brother, to my aunt that was the narc. She would compare us to her children. And I never understood that. And I know, narcissists, the parents, they do that sometimes. So they'll try to they'll have people in the family fighting against each other when they sit back and they just laugh. Now, like I said, I'm not going to say that my grandma was, but I know for sure that my aunt was, and she would actually, when I lived with my aunt, she would always be comparing me to her son, putting me down, and was very critical of me and critical of like the things that I was doing with my life, which really had nothing to do with her. Basically saying like, oh, I needed to eat better foods, and saying like my muscles was smaller than my cousin's, which my cousin is a man, and he's like 6'5". I'm like 5'6", 5'7". Like, you don't compare the two. It's like, and always comparing my looks to her looks all the time and doubting my hobbies and aspirations and dreams that I have for myself. Like, why do all that? Like, just, but I was happy to be able to move out, thank God. But narcissistic parents are very, very controlling. If you are living with a narcissistic parent, I know it's difficult, it's hard, but you really have to distance yourself. You got to look out for yourself. Now, I know it's difficult. It's hard because we love our parents. We feel like we owe them everything. But at the end of the day, like, you're grown. You're grown and you don't owe anything to anybody except for yourself and God, really. That's what I had to learn. And so, because I'm not going to lie, like, I felt guilty about going no contact with my aunt, but I realized, like, I'm not getting anything out of this. I'm not happy when I'm around her. I'm like, she's getting fulfillment and happiness out of making me upset, out of messing up my day, out of messing or ruining a birthday or ruining a special occasion for me. She likes that. She likes to make me sad or pretending to take me out and try to say like, oh, I'm going to buy this, but she's actually trying to control me with money and stuff like that, saying, oh, I'm going to get you this, but then may change her mind or say, oh, can you pay for that yourself? Like, trying to see if she could still control me. You guys know what I'm saying? Or like, I remember one time she invited me to go to like this, I think it was an Avon party, and it was just me. I was the only younger one, and my aunt, she was older. It was my aunt, her sister, which is my other aunt, and then my aunt's daughter. We were all there. And it was kind of like a gang, like they kind of ganged up on me because I was the younger one, but they were just like, oh, Joy's the youngest. And my other aunt, I know she didn't mean any harm, but she was like, oh, well, look at that skirt Joy is wearing. Like, I don't know. It just felt like really uncomfortable. And she just said like things, I guess when she mentioned something about my skirt, and I guess she thought about it and was like, oh, I was just joking, right? Not my aunt that was a narc, but my other aunt that wasn't the narc. But it was just more so like just saying things like you may think it's funny, but it's not, like, so that's what I had to deal with, you guys, for 5 years. And I'm just happy I made it out on the other side, because if I would have stayed living with my aunt, you guys, I would have been actually dependent on my aunt. And that's the thing. Narcissistic parents want their grown children dependent on them forever. They don't want them to go anywhere. So, and just Misha, you said he thinks his mom abandoned him. He cries about it all the time. Oh, wow. Yeah. That's crazy. I'm sorry. And Kalam, you said they don't want anyone to move on. Correct. That's correct. And Adam, you said, Misha, parent abandonment can cause narcissism. Yes, it can. Or when the parent spoils their child or overly spoils their child, then the child will grow up thinking that people owe them that. Like, like they deserve that. I mean, yeah, we deserve the world. But like, if your parent is giving you everything, then you just expect everybody else to do that to you automatically. So you don't feel like you have to work for anything. You just feel like anybody just give you anything, just for the heck of it, just because your parents did that. That's all you know. But that's not true. You shouldn't be like that, And BPD and abandonment issues. Yeah. So borderline personality disorder. Yeah. There was a borderline that I had met when I was working, and he had abandonment issues. And the thing about with borderlines, they harm themselves. So they self-harm. And again, a lot of times they've been abandoned by their parents, and they feel like they got to abandon you before you abandon them. That's what happened with me. And they'll abuse you too. They'll abuse you mentally, emotionally, some physically. None of the people that I've dealt with, like the male narc, my aunt, the borderline, none of them ever physically abuse me, thank God. But I know that there are some cases where that can happen. Now, if that ever comes down to it, somebody's physically abusing you, you guys know to get the authorities involved, right? To protect yourself and keep safe, And NPD and BPD can exist in one as a diagnosis. They all belong to the same cluster. Yeah, is it like cluster B, cluster A? Yeah, I believe it's cluster B. So yes, you guys, that's all I wanted to talk about today. I hope that this video was helpful in understanding, what life can look like on the path to healing and recovery after getting out of the abuse. Like I said, it's not going to be all smiles. It's not going to be all happy, but it is going to be worth it once you do the work. You do the work that you need to do to heal. You do the work that you need to recover. Trust me, you're going to be very happy that you did it, and you're going to thank yourself. So yes, just trust in yourself, trust in God, and know that it's all going to work out, right? And childhood abuse is 4 times more likely to make you develop cluster. Yeah, that's true. Yep. And it's really sad because I feel like I'm not going to blame the parents, but at the same time, it's like it was the parent that was doing it to the child. Like they were abusing the child, and the child is helpless. Like the child is depending on the parent for everything, but at the same time, they're getting abused, like physically abused by their parents, and so it's like, well, what do you do? And so that's why sometimes children, they could run away, when they experience child abuse like that. So it's a tricky thing, and it's really sad. So, but yes, guys, I'm signing out. I hope that this was helpful. If you guys have any other topics that you want me to talk about in the next video, please leave them below and I will make a video. And I do want to give you guys some homework. I know I've been kind of saying that in all of my videos. Besides the healing after narc abuse, that's actually a journal where you can kind of write out your thoughts and write out, how is life looking after your healing and recovery process, day to day, week to week, month to month, whatever, works for you. But I would encourage you guys not only to write like how your healing process is going, but write out what you want your life to look like after healing and recovery, right? How you want your surroundings to be, what you want your environment to be, how you want to be showing up in the world. Try that. The type of relationship you want, the type of friends that you want, the type of hobbies and the activities that you want to be doing, after dealing with abuse. Write it down. And then another thing I would encourage you guys to do is visualize it. Visualize it in your mind. See yourself healed. See yourself recovered after the abuse, after dealing with a narcissist. See yourself being able to move on. See yourself strong again, being happy again, being confident again, right? See that in your mind and try to do that for like maybe 7 days, 14 days. Just try it out, and see how it works, But give yourself time though. Do not rush your recovery. Please don't. Because if you don't take the time to do it now, you're never going to do it. Right? Because you have to be disciplined enough to say like, okay, I got to do this. I got to heal for myself, or I got to heal for my children, because my children, they can't see me like this. Right? Because I don't want my children to get into a narcissistic relationship, or if they may come to me asking me, hey, like, they may notice something about their partner, then I'm able to kind of see it and tell them and talk to them about it, right? So that way they don't have to deal with what I dealt with. You guys know what I mean? So try that out. Let me know if that helps you guys. So, but anyway, I love you guys. Give this video a like. And if you guys are feeling called to, if you want to donate to the channel, you can go ahead and donate at $Coach Joy 510. Or you could donate at livenarcfree9@gmail.com. That would be through the PayPal, right? So I'm signing out, you guys. I love you so much, and I'll see you guys next Sunday. Take care. Bye.